So this new futurism article says insiders at Tesla are concerned that Elon Musk's madness is damaging the company, saying it would be better if he just resigned, and that he seems to have ghosted his own company. Is this the case? We're going to look at that today. Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Let's get into it. Well, he certainly seems to have spent a lot of time doing other things here. This is a press conference in the Oval Office the other day. He seems to be more interested in politics than anything else. So the article says Elon Musk's antics have gotten so out of control that even his flunkies at Tesla are starting to get worried. According to a new report in the Washington Post that this references, there's growing sentiment among employees that Musk, already involved in multiple enterprises before his foray into politics, has become disengaged from the automaker as he serves as President Trump's right-hand man, leading the so-called Department of Government Efficiency. That's Doge. And this is the headline from that article. Tesla insiders fear Musk's work with Trump harms the company. And here we go in the Oval Office again in that press conference, and an article associated with that. Musk team kicks off federal layoffs as White House eyes big cuts. So he's certainly doing a lot of work, and he is annoying a lot of people at the same time, which really this article is about too. Is he turning people off Tesla with his antics and his political leanings? At least half his customers were liberals in the first place, and he went full in on MAGA, calls himself dark MAGA, dark gothic MAGA.
I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark gothic MAGA.
Getting into politics in a very big way, and not just in the US, in Germany, and meddling in other politics around the world, which, you know, Tesla is a global market. Is that having an impact worldwide? This headline seems to suggest this. Tesla's brand is toxic and its sales are in the toilet. Now, the employees referenced in this article range from the rank and file to senior managers. At a recent staff meeting, some of these managers expressed that the company could be better off if Musk resigned. He seems to have ghosted his own company. He has inflicted a massive amount of damage on the perception of the company. Is this true that the brand is now toxic? What's more, many employees fear that Musk may have permanently damaged Tesla's reputation by his association with Trump, and of course his personal conduct, like performing Nazi salutes. While Musk might get away with a Nazi-like salute, in some parts of the world, European markets reject such behavior. World War II casts a big shadow there in Europe, and that is true here. Headlines like this have been seen. Elon Musk's far-right politics are tanking Tesla sales, especially in Europe. And I've documented that here in previous videos. Also, headlines like this: Elon's bizarre behavior is killing Tesla sales. And that's not just headlines, not just rhetoric. It is the case as the numbers have come in. Tesla sales dropped 60% in Germany in January. Now, if you're getting value out of this episode so far, I'd really appreciate it if you remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does help. Thanks. The article goes on. These concerns come after a lackluster year for Tesla, with faltering sales, plunging profits, and stagnating revenue. Automotive sales have been particularly bad in Europe, Wired notes, with a 13% drop in the European Union, but nowhere are the numbers more damning than in Norway, a country where 88.9% of all cars sold are electric vehicles. That's so high. It's not a huge population, but that's an incredible percentage. And around the world, it's probably going to be like that in every other country eventually too. Strikingly, though, Tesla sales fell in the Nordic country by 37.9% in 2024. And that's not the only country. As I said, Germany down 60%, and I have made videos looking at those European sales, and they're down from as low as 18% in the UK, but other countries like Spain, I think Spain was down into the 70%. And even in California, where it started for Tesla, sales have been down too. So it's going to be very interesting to see the Q1 numbers from Tesla. Will it be really bad? And will there be more pressure on Elon to go or to get more involved at least, which is really what people want? How much of the slump is attributable to Musk's self-immolation is up for debate, and people are debating that. The Elongelicals say it doesn't matter at all. This is just because of the Model Y refresh. It's not because of the brand. They can't see anything wrong. But there are a lot of people out there protesting. We'll see that in a minute. A lot of things are happening. You can see the brand's taking damage. But it's undeniably a factor, the article says. In the US, but especially Europe, various forms of protest have sprung up against Musk and Tesla, including public demonstrations and, more pervasively, vandalism of Tesla cars and locations, which typically involves spray painting anti-Nazi imagery. And there's also been a boycott, of course. We'll look at that too. I've talked about that in previous videos. So these things are ramping up. There's definitely some brand damage there. It seems pretty obvious. Not that Tesla's competitors will be complaining. We have seen an increase in people writing to us and switching to Polestar in recent months. That's the CEO of Swedish EV maker Polestar told Wired. And not just Polestar, BYD, also the biggest competitor worldwide to Tesla, really. And somebody mentioned, I heard on a podcast that they traveled from the US to Mexico for a holiday, and they were astonished about how many BYD cars there and how many outlets selling BYD cars just across the border. You won't be seeing them in the US because of the big tariffs, but just across the border, they're selling like hotcakes there and in other places around the world, including where I am. So there's a lot of competition, and there's more competition in China as well. Really intense competition there. So it will be interesting to see the numbers coming for Tesla in Q1. Now we see this from the Mercury News. Waves of anti-Tesla and Elon Musk protests ripple throughout the Bay Area. I think this was just in this past weekend. From Berkeley to San Jose, hundreds of protesters mobilized outside Tesla showrooms to denounce Musk and call for a boycott. And this was coordinated. You see signs like this. Nobody elected Musk, so this is to do with politics for sure. But really, what CEO gets so into politics, so partisan politics, that it starts to hurt the brand? And Electric's take on it. Tesla was hit by a wave of protests over Musk. Sales are crashing. Insiders are waking up. We saw that insiders questioning whether Musk is doing well for the brand or whether he should move on if he's not that interested. What they were talking about here about insiders selling, I've reported on this before, that the board, some of the board, including the chair of the board, there she is there, and Elon's brother Kimball have been selling, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock. The chair alone has sold over $100 million worth of stock in the last 3 months. So I don't know if that will accelerate based on what's going on here. And about the protests, Electric says the protests appear to have been quite successful, with primarily peaceful demonstrations in front of Tesla stores. Here's an example in front of Tesla's Minneapolis store. And they've given examples around the country. Here's Manhattan store, Manhattan showrooms. So this was in a lot of places around the country, not just in a couple. It was coordinated across the country. Call to action, picket Tesla. If you can't make it, flood the lines with your concerns. All US locations and numbers here. And we've also got actions like this. This was at a Tesla student recruitment event on MSU campus. Sparks protest against Elon Musk. So people there, Tesla trying to recruit, and people saying, don't go and work for Tesla, don't go and work for Elon. And then in Europe, this was on the side of the German factory where Tesla has a factory. Hail Tesla activists call for boycott. And there has been a boycott happening, a growing boycott as far as I can tell. And this one is from Sheryl Crow, just this past few days. Sheryl Crow says she sold her Tesla and donated the proceeds to NPR. My parents always said, you are who you hang out with. There comes a time when you have to decide who you are willing to align with. So long, Tesla. Money donated to NPR which is under threat by President Musk, in hopes that the truth will continue to find its way to those willing to know the truth. So she was obviously really annoyed about Elon's actions to do with the media and selling her Tesla on. So quite a public statement there. There's a video of it. And so it's moved on from this, where liberals were putting stickers on their cars, having bought them before Elon went crazy, as the sticker says, anti-Elon stickers. So it's moved on from that to an actual boycott. People selling. This is somebody else selling. And there are more and more reports of this, people selling their Teslas. Of course, they've got to sell it to somebody, which I'm sure somebody will point out in the comments. They're still not hurting Elon that much, but it really is the symbolism of people selling. And we have Elon Musk's Doge activities trigger protest vandalism for Tesla. This headline: protests have ignited at home and abroad as Doge crashes through the US administrative state. And we've seen the vandalism like this. So it begins. I predict a whole lot more of this. We see vandalism on a Tesla store to do with his behavior, and even on the cars themselves. This one's a Cybertruck with a protest graffiti on it. So a lot of different kinds of protests, a boycott happening. I mean, what other company do you know that has this kind of protest against it? It's got to be damaging to the brand. MAGA people don't say so, but are they the people actually buying Teslas still? As I've said before, the conservatives that I've talked to that I know still aren't keen on buying electric cars, no matter what brand it is. Maybe they will start buying Teslas, but it's going to be interesting to see the numbers to see if that actually is the case. But insiders starting to be concerned about the brand and for their jobs probably. And Elon is not around, seems to be mostly just involved in politics these days and not really interested in Tesla that much at all. So what do you think of this? Do you think that Elon's behavior and his involvement in politics is hurting the Tesla brand? Should he move on? Should he stay there? Is this nothing to worry about? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a link here to a related video. Go and see that now if you want to. And also a subscribe link. Do subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content in the very near future. And if you want to go a step further, hit that join button and check out memberships, monthly memberships. Join to support. It's just me here doing this on a daily basis. So I'd really appreciate that extra support if you can do that. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.